want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. How the heck are you? Hell yeah, the Monty Show is back. It is Monday, January 3rd, 2022.
Yes.
Interesting little start to the week this week.
Okay.
Because here we were off 4 of the last 6 weeks at the Yelpatory.
Right.
And we had enjoyed 2 weeks over the Christmas, New Year holiday.
Right.
And we thought we were going back to the Yelpatory today.
Right.
And then at like 7 o'clock last night, we found out this is a company holiday.
Let's go.
Let's go. Greatest thing ever. So we extend by one, and Mrs. Monty's very unhappy because she is working today. But appreciate y'all being here. Back to our normal time tomorrow, somewhere between 6 and 6:30 Mountain Time. So we look forward to that. A lot to get to.
Yes.
Average to see you, Jake.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you? You got the COVID
I did not get
a
the
year
COVID.
ago.
Oh, a year ago. Okay, yeah. Yeah. A year ago I got the vid. Yeah.
And
the vid.
the vid, excuse
yeah.
me.
Uh-huh.
And now you're a little under the weather today.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I got going through the family, I guess,
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that because we I'm not going to say we had a COVID scare,
Yeah.
but we had a COVID scare.
Yeah, it was kind of
So-
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. But we got to get to the Jazz losing to good teams. There's this narrative going around that the Utah Jazz only lose games to good teams. We'll debunk that. We got to talk about Antonio Brown's incredible six-pack that was on display because he ripped off his uniform yesterday. Are the Arizona Cardinals elite? Are the Packers the best team in the NFL? But I want to start with the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're going to start this show, we might as well piss a bunch of people off right out of the box.
Obviously, that's what
Right?
we do on this show. Yeah.
So
of course.
I tweeted out the other day after Alabama manhandled and dominated Cincinnati, the Bearcats,
Right.
that Cincinnati simply did not belong in the college football playoff. And I stand by that 100%. Their schedule, their resume, their quality wins, nothing said that Cincinnati was one of the 4 best teams in the country this year. Nothing. Not a single indicator that Cincinnati put on film or on paper said that Cincinnati belonged amongst the elites of college football. And I think their performance where they were completely outclassed by Alabama, they could not compete physically. Athletically, they couldn't compete. They don't have the talent. And they simply should not have been in that game with Alabama. And if there's one thing we learned out of the Rose Bowl, it's that Ohio State and Utah are both elite, very good teams.
Mm-hmm.
And they were more deserving. And all of these teams at the top of the table that are not named Cincinnati are more deserving. I look at a team like Baylor. Baylor has a better resume and should have been in other than Cincinnati. The list is long of teams that I could make an argument for that belonged in the college football playoff other than Cincinnati, Jake. But of course, then once you say that, we get the G5 gremlins and the defenders of the little guy saying, oh my God, you have to have a seat at the table for the little guy. Well, actually, you don't.
Yeah.
What you need is a seat at the table for the 4 best teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully at some point that expands to 8, 10, or 12. But right now, today, you needed a seat at the table for the 4 best teams, Jake, and I don't think we got that.
Yeah, and I think we have to get to a place where, this isn't the conversation year after year. I mean, we can remember several years ago, and it's happening with Notre Dame this year again because they got, stomped on. But, it seems like every single year we get through this portion of the college football playoff, and we all want to talk about how, some team didn't belong, and we always knew they weren't going to win that game, and it wasn't the best matchup. And that's what I think has to get fixed, expansion or not. You have to find a way to put together a matchup that's actually going to challenge a team like Alabama. And it's fine if Alabama wins every year, but it's the way that it goes down. I don't think anybody wants to watch Alabama just beat up on a team that doesn't deserve to be on the same field as Alabama. Nobody wants that matchup. And so, yeah, I have to agree. I would have rather seen Ohio State, Alabama. I would have rather seen, Utah, Alabama. Would Utah have beaten Alabama? No, probably not. No, most likely not. Would Ohio State have put up a good fight against Alabama? Yeah, I think they would have put up a good fight, but they still probably would have lost. But I think the way that Cincinnati just got dominated, like, I mean, not even close to being in Alabama, really just sent a poor message about this process. And that's what I think the issue is. It's not even really a slight to Cincinnati. I mean, they're just kind of the poster child for this. They did everything that they could do with their schedule.
But I look at Notre Dame because everybody's brought up Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame didn't belong there.
Yeah.
I said, what was it, 6-8 weeks ago, I said Notre Dame's a mediocre team, and people are upset I said that.
Mm-hmm.
I got news for you. There are not 10 elite teams in college football every year.
Yeah.
There's usually 4 or 5, maybe 6. I look at the rankings this year, and I absolutely believe that Alabama earned it. They beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. I don't know what happens in the championship game, but it's going to be a great game. I don't think there's any question Alabama and Georgia are the 2 best teams in the country. Does anybody even dispute that?
No.
Because I certainly don't. And I watch more college football than pretty much anybody. And I have seen a lot of these teams. I've seen Michigan multiple times. Georgia is far and away better than Michigan, right? I've seen Cincinnati. I've known all year. I've said all year, Cincinnati's overrated. They don't have a resume. They don't have a schedule. They haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
I look at Notre Dame. That's a mediocre football team, and they showed us that in the bowl game. I look at Baylor. They belonged in the college football playoff. I look at Ohio State. They belonged in the college football playoff. I think that's it. I think that's the end of it, right? And frankly, if I go back to Ohio State, that loss to Oregon really hurt them. And when you look at the fact that they finished 10-2, you cannot excuse a 2-loss team. But again, I don't think you're putting in an undefeated Cincinnati team who plays nobody, and their best win is a, mediocre Notre Dame team.
Yeah.
I don't think you just put them in to put them in because we got to have representation for the group of 5. No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Well, and it's a tough thing, too, because there's not really a parameter around, and this is what we always come back to, I feel like, whether you're on Cincinnati's side or you're on the SEC side or whatever, it doesn't really matter what side of the conversation you're on here. What matters is we have to find a way in college football to get some clarity on what it takes to be one of those 4 teams, and really what it takes to be one of those final 2 teams, because it always seems that we have, the top the top 2 teams that are solidified, Georgia and Alabama. Everybody unanimously agrees those 2 teams have to be in.
I think the hard part about that is I think it's very good for college football that there is all of this debate, that we are sitting here on a Monday morning talking about what happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think it's very good for college football that all year long this has been the conversation. I think the college football playoff works. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I thought the bowl season was fabulous. The Rose Bowl is one of the best bowl games I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't end the way that most of us wanted it to end in these parts of the country. But I'm telling you right now, that's one of the most entertaining bowl games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think college football is one of the few college sports that's actually healthy and flourishing.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously doing well. I mean, anything football related is going to do well. I mean, it just is that simple. Our country loves football, and
Yes.
and I think that overall, like, the product is good. And yeah, was that one of the best? Frankly, I think that's probably the best Rose Bowl we've had since Texas and USC. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a hell of a game, and I think without diving down that rabbit hole, I'll just say that I think if Cam Rising doesn't go out of that game, I think Utah's got a real good shot to win that
But
game.
his loss, and not to get into the wins and losses for Utah there, but Cam Rising not being there at the end of it didn't really impact how they played.
Yeah.
They got a touchdown pass.
It was just,
I mean,
it just felt like there was less confidence. That's all. I mean, I think, that offense was cooking. I thought that they were really playing a really solid game.
Well, I think it took some air out of the defense more than it did the offense.
Well, the defense I just think both defenses didn't show up. That's why you had a 48-45 game. I mean, you weren't playing. Nobody had the ability to stop anybody.
I don't know. CJ Stroud is, I think Kyle Whittingham said it after the game. C.J. Stroud is one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
I mean, that might be true, but that doesn't excuse the fact that your DBs are getting beat outside. That doesn't excuse the fact that.
Well, I mean, obviously for Utah, I mean, when you have Bernard playing corner, that's not ideal.
Yeah, but I'm more talking about Phillips. Bernard is what it is. Phillips got beat a couple of times, and look, look. Ohio State has elite wide receiver talent. There's nobody disputes that. Smith and Jigba had a great game.
347 and 3 scores.
I mean he had a hell of a game. Give the guy credit. But at the same time, that's why I say the Cam Rising thing. That's why I think that's what ultimately changed their fate. I know that they got the touchdown after he went out, but my point is that when your quarterback goes out, the guy who's led your team through all this adversity through the year that we've talked about, I just felt like that was that gut punch that really kind of changed the tide of the game. Because early in the game, Utah comes out and basically punches Ohio State in the face. I mean, Ohio State was definitely on the back foot in the first half. I felt like Ohio State was surprised that Utah was bringing this much heat. And so, going into the second half, I was like, all right, Ohio State's going to come back and even this thing out. So it's really going to come down to the fourth quarter. And then, of course, Cam goes out. It was just unfortunate.
I don't know. I thought Bryson Barnes did a great job. I mean, the touchdown pass was great. I don't know. I think it was more of a defensive thing when Cam went out. But here nor there. I think college football is incredibly healthy right now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are tuned in.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are plugged in. And I think a lot of people care about college football. And I think that's why you're not going to see, you are not going to see a lot of changes to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Because it works, so why would you?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. Honestly, I think you're probably you're going to get to 8, 10, 12 teams.
Yeah.
And I think that is what it is. But the idea that you're going to change the way you select these teams, I would not do that.
Well, I don't think you need to change how you select them, but I just maintain that I do think you need to expand it a touch. But you're right in the fact that, yes, we're talking about it. So just by that, it does work. I mean, it is a huge conversation in sports. The Cincinnati dynamic is the front story right now. And I think that's what kind of just tells you, hey, the college football playoff does currently work in its format, but I think it's college football fans and as the whole, if we just kind of look at the 1,000-foot big picture view, I think college football in and of itself deserves to have at least 6 teams. I don't know about 8 and 12, but I think a 6-team playoff would be really cool to see just to get that extra round. I think that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I mean, if you're going to do, open it up, make it the top 10, because if you have 10 teams,
yeah,
Cincinnati, the argument with Cincinnati's fine. You're going to have a G5 team in there every single year. But I think when you only have 4 teams and you put somebody like Cincinnati in, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the other thing is a lot of people, when I said this, were like, well, then what about Michigan? And what about all the other teams? Well, why do all the other teams matter? They don't matter. Who cares about Michigan? What's Michigan got to do with Cincinnati's resume?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who Alabama's beat in the past. This year, the 2021 Cincinnati Bearcats had no business being in the college football playoff. Yeah. They simply had no resume. They should not have been there. Period. End of story. So we'll see. All right, let's get some comments. Gabe Lovely says, welcome back, boys. Happy New Year. Now, taking all Maui recommendations until mid-March. Let's go. You're going to Maui, Gabe.
Let's go, buddy.
My man.
Let's go.
Way to go. We got the hookup on that for you. No problem. Alex T says, just what KSL said about BYU. Enough said. Okay. I don't know what KSL said.
Okay.
Tanner Plummer says, morning, guys. Glad you're back. Tanner, what's up? Chris Karn says, let's go. What's up? Jeremy Bolton says, well. Good morning, gents. Average to see you guys.
Yeah, average to see you too, sir.
What's up? Snuka says, morning party people. Hey, all the fellas are back, including Greg Hawkins.
What's up, Greg?
My guy. What's up, fellas?
What's up, buddy?
Bolton says, kind of hard to beat Alabama when Saban signed a 20-year deal with Satan.
This is Coach Saban.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Saban's here, dude. Saban is here, bro.
Saban's amazing.
He's going to be there for as long as he wants to be.
Saban's amazing. Bryce Jensen says Utah's corner play was almost as bad as Joe Ingles on Saturday night. No,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't good, dude. I mean, again, Bernard did everything that he could do.
Let's be honest. Joe Ingles is a better corner than Bernard was.
Well, you know.
All right. Depth or lack thereof finally catches up to Utah football in season-ending bowl loss. Utes suck. Okay, Alex T. Appreciate that. Tanner says, I don't know if Cam Rising staying in the game means Utah wins. Cam was mostly shut down in the second half. Yeah, they did nothing offensively in the second half. I mean, absolutely. Where they have 10 points or something in the second half. I mean, it was. But again, this is the Kyle Whittingham conundrum, right? When you have the lead, he's going to go way conservative and lean on his defense. And I just think that's a huge mistake.
Well, and I think also, too, from a program perspective, the way he runs his program obviously is at a high level. You're getting to the Rose Bowl, but the problem is when you get to a point where you're playing elite talent, having a great defense isn't always enough. Yes, have a great defense, but when you're in a 45-45 game, you need a dynamic player. You need somebody to make a play offensively to win the game.
If we're being honest, the best offense is always going to be better than the best defense.
Yeah.
I mean, it
is what it is.
It's just the way football works. But I look at the way the Utes play, especially in offense, when you're in 12 and 13 personnel constantly. And again, they're 2 and 3 tight ends, whether it's Keithy, Fotheringham, whatever you want to point to.
Yeah.
They're very good. They're very, very good. But you're not going to score a ton of points in 12 and 13 personnel.
Yeah.
You're not. And the narrative that we had all year on this team was, hey, you don't have a spectacular player outside, and you struggled to find an identity running the football through the non-conference schedule. And what did you have in the Rose Bowl? You didn't have an explosive playmaker outside, and you struggled to run the football.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't even know what you say about Britton Covey's performance. I mean, that kick return was unbelievable.
Legend.
Without that kick return, I don't even know what this game would have been. I just think it's pretty remarkable, the story of the 2021 Utah Utes. I mean, dealing with the death of multiple players, COVID, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yep.
Here nor there. I think college football is very healthy. Ron LeGrand says, I remember you guys from Arizona. You made my drive to work easy, LOL. Ron, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you listening. Design My says, shout out to Bryson Barnes in his fourth quarter touchdown. He's an inspiration to every 1A football player to walk on Utah and score in the biggest situation possible. Wow, yeah. I don't know how many people realize he's a walk-on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he played well,
Gets
dude.
in the game and throws a touchdown in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
This is the stuff of legends.
Yeah. I mean, he did great work.
Yes, he did. I agree, Design My. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys, says James. Nice hoodie, Jake. Do they make them for men?
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Wow. Do they make them for men?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tanner says, James Knight, I was wondering that too.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have a girlfriend update?
Yeah. I mean, I picked up a girlfriend over the winter break. So yeah.
Wait, you're just on the corner? Like you're just
I just went down to the
turn
corner
on the State Street and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
hey, there's hoe over here.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, babe, you want to be my girlfriend? She's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly how it happened. Couldn't explain it better myself. So
See?
yeah.
Should have been a play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
But your girlfriend situation's pretty rock solid.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend and it's good. Yeah, we're I don't know what else to say about it other than winter break was very fun. That's what I'll say about it.
I'm a little rusty on the podcast, by the way. Let me go ahead and start the audio portion of the podcast.
Good. All right. Yes. Okay,
You
good.
know.
Yep.
Wow. Well, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. My point is,
Yeah.
you have a girlfriend,
Yes.
which is great. And so Teddy asking if you have a girlfriend.
Yes, I do.
Merry Christmas
I'm
to
off
you.
the market.
How long's that been?
A couple weeks.
It's only been a couple weeks.
It's only been a couple weeks.
Isn't it
yeah.
funny when
Well,
you're not
we've
working?
been dating for like 6 weeks, but girlfriended for a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's been longer than 6 weeks.
Okay, sure, whatever.
When was the walk around the lake?
I'd have to look. I don't remember.
It's been longer than 6 weeks.
Okay. Anyway.
You guys went super slow.
Yeah.
And then you went right in the super fast mode.
Anyway.
Are you guys engaged yet?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
But
Thank
it's
you.
good, right?
Yeah, it's great. Everything's good.
I
Man.
haven't ruined it for you yet.
No, you've
We've
handled
met
it
her
well.
a couple of times.
You've handled it well. Yes, you've
Have
done
not
well.
torpedoed her.
No, you have not.
Yet. I mean, I'm working on
yet
it.
being the key word, right?
I mean, we'll see. I'll do what I can do.
Right, you'll do what you can do, and everything will be.
But she's got the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
She's a career woman.
Mm-hmm.
She has a dog, even though, as you pointed out, it's a girl dog, not a guy dog. But
Yeah, but it's a black lab. It's a nice dog, really nice dog.
she gets the seal of approval. She gets along with Mrs. Monty pretty well.
Very well. They're both they're
know.
both vegans. You know, they both want to save the planet. Everything's great.
Yeah.
You know.
So
Yeah.
she's a good fit.
Yeah.
You know.
Facts.
James Knight says, wow, there's some broken hearts in the education department all over the country right now.
Wow. Wow.
No more teacher dating for Jake.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah,
I
let's
told
hope
you
so.
guys I wasn't doing it. I told you.
I really hope it's over. I mean, I
hope it's over too, man. I hope.
Giggity says, good morning, guys. Monty, how was the girlfriend meet and greet? Where did we first meet? Oh, we first met her snowboarding.
Snowboarding.
Yes, when I broke my boot.
That's right.
It was not good. We went snowboarding at the canyons, and I broke the boa, which tightens your boot.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to meet her for like 10 minutes. But she's a nice person. I mean, she genuinely is the first girl you've probably ever dated.
Mm-hmm.
Where like within the first 10 minutes, it's like, yeah, this isn't going to work out.
Right.
Like the girl you broke up with over the phone.
Right.
Within 10 minutes, I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In my head, you know.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm glad. I mean, I think it's gone great. You've handled it well. She's great. Mrs. Monty's happy. Everything's good.
Okay.
So I think we're in a good place.
And you're happy with it.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody cares what you think about his girlfriend, Monty. Well.
That's not nice. Who said that? That's not nice.
See, I think what parents think of your girlfriend matters.
Well, whether we think it matters or not, it matters. That's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it. I mean, you know, if you're gonna bring your significant other around your parents, you know that that's an important factor. You know that's an important process.
Bryce Jensen got filtered. He said, Jake, when you were making out with this chick,
yeah.
He wants to know if you got grass stuck on your teeth.
Bro, that is an inappropriate question, bro.
I'm for real.
That is inappropriate. That is inappropriate, bro.
Wow. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk some hoop.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get too far off the beaten path.
Right. The beaten path. Right.
You know.
Right.
But I think Jazz losing to Golden State the other night.
Uh-huh. Everyone seemed to lose their mind over this loss.
Seemed to have. Everybody did lose their mind.
Yeah.
Steph went crazy.
Right.
Hits that three.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you know, and I should just stop reading Jazz media, honest to goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, they only lose to the good teams.
Right.
And it's just like there was, and I don't even remember who wrote it now. An article that said Jazz lose to Golden State and continue the narrative. They only lose to good teams.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, I would encourage you to go back and look at who they've lost to, because they've also lost to some good teams and some really not very good teams.
Yeah.
And I think the narrative that we've been talking about for months on this show is a lack of athleticism.
Yeah.
That's the team that beats the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool that they beat Memphis repeatedly, and it's cool that you know, they beat a bunch of teams that are mediocre. But the Jazz are doing exactly what you would want the Jazz to do, which is take advantage of a super soft schedule.
Yeah.
And win a bunch of games.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, that's what they should be doing. And frankly, I think that you know, if we're being honest about the Jazz, I think it took them a minute to kind of get it going this year. You know, like I think in the first probably 15 games, it took them for whatever reason, it just kind of took them a minute to find their flow on the floor. But I feel like they have found their groove. They're obviously playing good basketball. I think just because you lost to the Warriors doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden some bad team, or like there needs to be this discussion about how you only lose to good teams. Like and honestly, that argument is just so like ass backward to me, because it's like you only lose to good teams. Hey, by the way, the Jazz are a good team. They just came up short in this one particular game. I think as a Jazz fan, the scary portion is that Klay Thompson is about to come back. So you lost this game even without Klay, and that's the scary part.
How about that 24 of 24 before the Jazz?
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. And
Klay
it's like,
Thompson warming up,
Yeah.
hit 24 straight threes
Yeah.
before the Jazz game the other night.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, and so that's why I say, like, again, I know, we've really, this is kind of a dead horse on this show, but, like, that's why this trade deadline situation is just so important. I hope that they're able to find somebody who can bring them some wing defense, because I'm a little over the, hey, is Rudy an MVP candidate, or is Rudy this, or is Rudy that conversation. The fact is Rudy gets put in really bad situations because the Jazz don't have great wing defense. That's just what it is, and it's not Rudy's fault. And I think that if the Jazz had better wing defense, they could play a better brand of defense overall, and that would allow them to put up more points on the board and ultimately win more games. And so that's why I think, specifically this Golden State game, that's why the Steph play happens. That's why, you end up losing. What did they lose by? 4 or 5, I think it was, to the Warriors, maybe even 6, I think, 2 possessions basically.
123, 116.
Yeah, so whatever it was. So, what are you, 7 points there, whatever it is. So, I just think that they're in a position where they're a good team that needs 1 to 2 more players to really help them defensively. And if they do that, they're going to be a problem.
And I think you look at the offseason additions, Rudy Gay has been okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a guy that's giving you 9 points a game, and he'll occasionally pop off for 15, 20 once in a very long while. But the Jazz are okay. I think it's one of 2 things. You're going to go out early in the playoffs, or you're going to make a trade at the deadline that's going to change your fortunes. It's that simple. And I don't think that trade is Ben Simmons. There was a bunch of Twitter chatter about that. The trade's not Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
You need a dynamic wing scorer to pair with Donovan Mitchell. It's that simple. Mike Conley is great. He's a good distributor, but he's not a guy who wants to be your number 2 scorer.
Yeah.
And you know what? My feeling is that if you upgrade Bojan Bogdanovic, this is a completely different team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're seeing that these pieces that we've all, come to enjoy and admire are not the pieces that are going to win you a championship.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to rotate them out. And frankly, I don't know when you look around this league, you're not the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the Golden State Warriors. You look at the Eastern Conference, you've beaten Philly, twice now?
Yeah.
I don't know what Philly's going to be, because I can't believe they hang on to Ben Simmons. And that's going to be a massive trade when that trade goes down.
Somebody's getting him.
I look at the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are incredibly athletic. I have no idea how they're winning games right now, because they're missing 3/4 of their roster. Their bench is essentially nobody you've ever heard of.
No, they're winning games on DeMar DeRozan buzzer beaters. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but I think it's more than that. They're starting 5. I mean, they're getting production from guys like Derrick Jones Jr. That nobody has gotten from him in his career. I mean, consistently defending, consistently hitting the corner 3 now. Like, you look at Zach LaVine, I just think the guy's incredibly selfish. And I think that DeMar DeRozan's been by far the best offseason signing throughout the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, how DeMar DeRozan's not in the NBA MVP conversation is beyond me.
Yeah.
But I bring that up to say all of these teams have dynamic players outside that make a difference for them. And I look at the teams that the Jazz lose to, and that's who they're losing to. Mm-hmm. You look at the way that the Jazz lost, and this is not rocket science. Wiggins puts up 25. Otto Porter puts up 20. Steph Curry puts up 28. I mean, they have 3 guys scoring 20 points. They score 123 points on a Jazz team that can't keep guards and wings in front of them.
Yeah.
This is an average defensive team for the Jazz.
Yeah.
And until that improves, I don't care how many points they score, because the elite teams in the NBA are going to score more than you.
Yeah.
You have to be able to win the arms race.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. And again, I go up and down the standings in the NBA, and I think to myself, I look at Jaylen Brown scoring 50 points last night. The Jazz aren't keeping Jaylen Brown in front of them.
No.
That's not happening.
No.
And I look at the mid-range murderers. I look at Kyrie Irving coming back for the Nets on Wednesday night. I mean, if he's dynamic, And if he ever gets the organic shot that'll keep you safe,
Yeah, I've been immunized.
if that happens, they instantly get better.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Durant's playing like 78 minutes a night. And I'm telling you, that's not gonna continue.
Yeah, I can't continue.
And what's gonna happen when Milwaukee gets healthy and caught up? And I look in the Western Conference. I have no idea what the LA Clippers are because now their two best players are injured.
Yeah.
Watching the entire Laker game last night, Mrs. Monty's a huge NBA fan now.
Right.
She actually allowed me to watch a full Laker game last night.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, thanks, baby. Anyway, the point is, watching the Laker game last night, LeBron James is playing some of the best basketball of his career.
Right.
You can't tell me they're going to sit with this roster the way
No
it
way.
is.
No
You cannot
way.
tell me that the Dallas Mavericks are going to be the same team after the deadline. You cannot tell me that the Sacramento Kings, who are 10th in the Western Conference all of a sudden, they're in the playoff picture, are just going to sit with what they have. There's going to be a lot of change at the deadline.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Jazz, that change means opportunity to you. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to get involved in
Yes.
as possibly a third team, or there's going to be a lot of, you're going to look out at all these teams making all these moves, the Kings, the Mavericks, the Lakers. You're going to look around at all these
What
teams.
are the Blazers going to do?
The Blazers, exactly. You're going to look at all these teams and you're going to say, okay, what do these teams need, and how can we slide into their DMs and get a player for us? How can we do that? How can we improve our team, not having a lot of money and not having a lot of draft capital? How can we do that? And that's how they're going to go and find a wing player. And I think you make a great point that there's going to be a lot of teams that are on the bottom end of the Western Conference looking to get better that are going to have to make moves. And that is a great place to be. That's what you need to happen to get better. Mm-hmm.
I think this could be one of those years where, if you look at the Golden State Warriors, I don't know what they do with Kevon Looney. I don't know how long, I don't know. Are you gonna, when you get Clay back, how often are you gonna be able to play big? If Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green are on the floor, who's the fifth guy? They have a lot of different ways they can play basketball.
Yeah.
They can play small. They can play big. Again, Myar and the Chicago Bulls have no big man. None. Zero. They're going to make a trade. They're going to get bigger. And my guy from Indiana, whose name I can never remember, Miles Turner, is going to be one of the biggest chips at the deadline.
Yeah.
Because if you think about teams like the Dallas Mavericks, teams like the Chicago Bulls, teams like the LA Lakers. If the LA Lakers wind up with Miles Turner, that's a top 5 team in the West.
Yeah.
And because they instantly get better defensively. So it's just going to be very interesting to see. And by the way, who's going to be the emerging star out of all these COVID absences? Because you look at all these 10-day contracts in the NBA right now, and you're starting to realize that some of these 10-day guys can actually play a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see that big names like Lance Stevenson is winding up, going from Atlanta now back to Indiana.
Yeah.
And you're seeing names like that switching teams. And these guys are actually, through the pandemic and through coronavirus, they're using their 10-day contracts to figure out who they can add to help themselves.
Yeah.
Not just through the 10 days, but beyond that. And so I think this is a time in sports, much like life. We've never seen anything like this pandemic in our lifetime. I think it's going to be very interesting to see who does what.
Yeah.
And who comes out on top. Because to bring this full circle, the Jazz are not one of the best teams in the NBA. I think if I had to ask you today, the best team in the NBA is?
If Kyrie comes back, you have to go with the Nets. But I think that there's a lot of I think it's a really tough question to answer right now because teams like the Lakers.
It is?
Yeah.
Right now, today, I think it's the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. We'll see. I think you have to, again, what I was just going to say was teams like the Lakers and the Nets and these contenders who have a lot of upside, are going to make a lot of moves and change their roster. So you don't really know. I mean, right here today, yeah, I guess it's the Warriors, yeah, because of what
I would
Steph's
say
doing. But
the
you know,
Warriors 1,
yeah,
the Nets 2, the Suns 3. I think the Bulls probably are somewhere on the cusp of 7 to 10.
yeah,
But I also don't know what the Clippers are. And I have a lot of respect for a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard pairing, which I think we're going to see by the end of the year.
yeah.
But the Jazz don't fit into that top 5, 6, 7 teams as they're currently constructed. When everybody's looking man for man, I don't think the Jazz are a top 5, 7 team. I think they're the same team they were last year. I think they're probably a top 10 team in the NBA for sure, but they're not a team that's going to contend for a championship unless they make a significant move at the deadline.
Yeah, I think if everyone's healthy, if every team is good to go, then yeah, I mean the Jazz are definitely a top 10 team, but I think they fall between that 7 to 10 ranking when everyone's healthy. That's what I think.
All right, John Jackson has an important question.
Okay,
Do you and the girlfriend have matching hoodies? It shows commitment.
bro, why is this hoodie such a thing today?
I don't know, but K Shavabubu.
Where is Aaron right now?
Exactly. I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I'm not even being a cock. I mean, I am being, but no,
That's it, Skippy.
yeah. Anyway, Skippy, whose comment is now filtered, essentially says that you should shop in the men's department, not the women's department. This
Great.
is a Nyjah Houston sweatshirt, the skateboarder.
Yeah.
This is a Nyjah line from
Yeah.
Nike.
Yeah,
Where'd you get it?
from you. Yeah.
Hello, I'm a fashionista here.
Come on, let's go, Schleprock.
God. Bryce Jensen says, why are we playing Royce 35 minutes a game when we have Pascal and Jared Butler sitting on their ass? I'd love to understand why Quinn's playing 8 guys.
Yeah, I don't get it.
If anybody wants to explain that to me in late December and early January, why Quinn Snyder's playing 8 guys, feel free.
Yeah, and everybody else in the league is not playing 8 guys. Everyone else in the league is playing like 10 or 11 guys for a good reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to understand it, but I don't understand it. I don't understand this sound problem that we have with SoundCloud or with YouTube, because apparently we're losing our sound for 20 seconds a show.
That's an internet thing.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's an internet connection thing.
You think so?
Yeah.
Every show
When it's
for
YouTube,
20
it is.
seconds.
Yeah, when it's YouTube, it is.
I don't know why that's happening. Cody Strickland says, "Morning, boys. I just woke up." By the way, Cody won the
Cody
the
won
Xbox.
the Xbox. Congratulations, bro.
Cody won the
got you, buddy.
Xbox, making the naked sign on Christmas Day. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Totally random again, Jeremy says, but where can I get those GNU boards you guys are riding? Salty Peaks? Absolutely.
Yeah, Salty Peaks is where it's at, dude.
Salty Peaks, what is that, on 33rd?
Yeah, 33rd South.
Yeah. You got to go to Salty Peaks.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best in the business.
Yeah, I would recommend the GNU Rider's Choice, but it depends what you want to ride.
Jeremy, and I am a GNU Rider's Choice guy as well. Look at some Never Summer boards while you're there. My wife loves Never Summer, and that brand is exploding. Like Never Summer is, I would never encourage anybody to ride anything but a GNU Rider's Choice. I have one that's 6 years old, and it's still the best board I own. Like I also ride a T-Race Pro, which right now I'm riding full time. And I will ride at about 10:30 when we are done with this show. We're going up to Park City. But I love my Rider's Choice. It's the best board I have. It's the best board I've ever owned.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any doubt. And I've owned a Park Pickle. I've owned a GNU Park Pickle. I've had probably 4 or 5 boards. The Rider's Choice is easily the best.
Yeah.
Not close. When you started snowboarding, did you take lessons or jump on and figure it out? Both. I would tell you, by the way, Giggity, if you're in Phoenix, I think. But if you're a new boarder and you're in Salt Lake City, go to Woodward Park.
Yeah.
It's right up there in Park City. We rode there last Saturday or last week sometime.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
The cool thing about Woodward Park City is that it's way less crowded. So it's not a full-on resort. Basically what it is it's a terrain park, but it's also a place where you can go and learn how to ride. So like they have great instructors. it's just a smaller, cheaper way to go about it. And cheaper doesn't mean bad. They have a really high quality resort.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun to ride there. And at like Park City is like $150 a day for just the lift ticket and then the lesson on top of that. Whereas like at Woodward, you're like $70 a day and then the lesson, so you save some money that way.
The lesson at Park City is $749.
Yeah,
The lesson at Woodward Park City is $189.
yeah,
But here's the thing: for anybody that wants to get on a snowboard for the first time, it's going to kick your ass the first 2 times you go. But in my case, and I can only speak for me, I started riding when I was probably 32, 33. A switch went off in my head. And the key to snowboarding is to stay off the ground. You got to stay off the ground. Whether that's falling, sitting, whatever, stay off the ground.
yeah.
Once you learn that and master the ability to stay off the ground, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
It is the greatest sport that you'll ever partake in. I would tell you the first time that you ever snowboard, just go fall down a lot. Fall down a lot.
And wear a helmet, please. Don't be
Yeah.
the guy who doesn't wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet.
Yeah,
please.
wear a helmet, please.
It's cold this morning. Yes, it is, which is why we'll,
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon Whiteside says Jazz are just as good as the Warriors and Suns. They are? Sure, we need a defensive wing. Did you hear the Ingles for Kuminga and it got shot down by Snyder? I don't know anybody that would trade Kuminga for Joe Ingles. Why would that even be a conversation? I don't know what else was involved in that deal.
Yeah.
I don't believe for a second that there was a conversation or, hey, let's just ask Quinn, and if it happens, we'll do it.
That's not how it works.
No. I mean, I don't know what Kuminga's numbers are off the top of my head.
It doesn't even matter, dude.
But you're not
yeah.
trading a guy like Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga is 20 years old.
Yeah.
19. He's not 20. My bad. That's never happening. That's never happening. I mean, what he showed you on the Ignite alone would make it cost prohibitive to trade him for Joe Ingles.
Yeah.
And to look at what he's done in the little bit that he's gotten with the Warriors this year, I think he's played officially 6 games, shooting 47% from the floor. No, I'm not doing that. Kuminga's going to be a star in this league. And if you're Golden State, why would you trade Kuminga to the Jazz?
You wouldn't.
Never. Not effing happening.
Yeah.
Now you want to make a Ben Simmons trade? Okay. All right. Yeah, I can get down with putting Kuminga in that deal. I'm not putting Kuminga in a Joe Ingles trade. And do the Warriors need Joe Ingles?
No.
You're going to get worse defensively, and you're already an elite 3-point shooting team.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
That deal makes no sense.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Kuminga, again, and I probably overvalue him. He's a stud. The guy is...
He's going to be a great player.
He can wrap his arms around the world. I mean, he's got great length. Kuminga is comparable to toilet paper. Well, that could be. How about my man Josh Giddey, guys? Yeah, Giddey, youngest player ever with a triple-double last night.
Yeah, nice game.
So the Aussies are putting the shrimp on the bobby, mate.
Yeah.
See, that's an us.
Right. Good job.
Okay. Gnu's overrated, Steve says. Okay.
Well,
you also got filtered because you dropped an F-bomb on Burton. But, hey, I'm telling you now, and you and I may disagree on this, Burton step-on bindings all day long.
I mean, I'm not saying the technology's bad. It's great technology. But the boot setup, like, I don't, your boots are constantly loose. Like,
My boots are loose because I choose not to ride them super tight. But my wife's got DC boots, step-on binding boots, that she has no problems with ever.
Yeah, well.
So it could be the Burton boot. It could be.
I don't know. I ride Burton Cartels, great product. The Burton step-on's a great product.
Yeah, Burton's not a bad product.
Yeah, Burton's a great product.
Burton's not a bad product.
Yeah.
Real quick NFL, because then we got to go and talk about getting COVID.
Right.
NFL.
Yeah.
What was the outside of Antonio Brown stripping down and throwing his clothes into the stands?
Yeah.
Yesterday was a shocking day in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
And as a casual observer of the LA Rams, I'm starting to have my doubts about Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt that he's an upgrade to Jared Goff.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Right.
Is he a championship caliber quarterback?
Well, here's my problem. He makes the plays you need him to make to win the game, right?
Yes.
So, like, he made the throws to Odell, which, by the way, Odell played his ass off. Great. I'm glad to see he's doing well. So they make the plays they need to make to win the game. The problem is he also makes some pretty boneheaded throws, pick sixes and things like that. So, he's got to get rid of those mistakes. And I think, if he just simply gets rid of those mistakes and continues to play normally, they're going to be fine. But, I don't know how he keeps – because this isn't his first time throwing pick sixes this season. This isn't his first time throwing egregious interceptions. So,
oh, no. No, it is
you know what
not.
I mean? So, like, it's kind of surprising to me that this continues to happen. But is he a championship quarterback? Yeah, I think he can be a championship caliber quarterback, but he's got to get rid of those mistakes. And if he does that, they're going to be fine.
I think one of the things that's so interesting to me about the NFC West is I still don't have a real firm grasp on who the Arizona Cardinals are.
Yeah.
I mean, they lose some really bad games. And yesterday in Dallas, I think a lot about it is that little Kyler is thrilled to go home.
Yeah.
I think he's now 8-0 at Cowboys Stadium.
He is.
But I look at the Dallas Cowboys. Where did Dak Prescott go? I mean, this guy was so good early in the season. And now he just can't throw the football. And I don't know, some people call it a slump. I don't know. The Dallas Cowboys have a defense that can win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They have an offense that won't even get you to the playoffs in most years.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me with the caliber of wide receiver they have, the caliber of running back they have, the time that Dak Prescott gets.
Yeah.
He just can't execute.
Nope.
And it's inexplicable to me. He looks like a guy who is like a rookie. Yet at times he's played like an MVP this year.
Yeah, 5,000-yard passer and everything.
How do you explain that?
Yeah, I don't know how you explain it. I don't know if it's bad coaching. I don't know if he's just not prepared or if he's got the yips or something or whatever. I don't know, dude. Like, I have no idea what goes on in Dak Prescott's brain, but it's not good. And you're totally right. The defense is totally there. The offense is not. And that's just – it's classic Cowboys. Hey, we're great, and then we can't do anything at the end of the year. That's who they are.
Yeah, I really don't understand it. And I want to.
Yeah.
Because the Dallas Cowboys should be in the Super Bowl this year. They are, and for all of Mike McCarthy's failings early in the year, I actually think he's gotten better as the year's gone on.
Yeah.
Now, Dan Quinn and that defense have really helped the Dallas Cowboys get better and kind of cover for some of the inadequacies of the offense. Dak Prescott's got to play better because he's going to be the reason they win or lose.
Yeah.
There's no Micah Parsons, like Diggs, that entire defense. You're getting great performances.
Yeah.
But they're not playing well enough to win. They simply are just not.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. A couple other things that I see. Obviously, that Jalen Hurts thing in Washington yesterday was terrifying.
Yeah.
And if you didn't see it, Jalen Hurts, by the way, who everybody said sucked.
It doesn't suck.
He's carried the Philadelphia Eagles to the playoffs. B, Jalen Hurts is walking off the field at FedEx Field in Washington yesterday. He gets to the tunnel, and there's like a mob of Eagles fans leaning over a railing, waving at him. And you know how fans are. They're yelling and taking pictures. The railing collapsed, and everybody almost fell out of the stands onto the field, and they almost landed on top of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, it looked like everybody was okay. There were no injuries. Hurts was uninjured. He actually handled it really well. He took a bunch of pictures. Security swooped in. He walked to the locker room.
Yeah.
But is this the National Football League? How are fans falling out of stands?
It's rare. You don't see it much. It's obviously a mistake made or something. But the first thing I thought of was, holy cow, his COVID exposure just went way up.
Yeah,
Standing
right?
around all
Oh
those
my
people.
God.
Like, I mean, I think you have to be. Wasn't it a policy you have to be vaccinated to get into NFL games now? But like, or whatever.
No, I don't believe it is.
Oh, okay. I thought
don't
they had
believe
put
it.
that in.
No,
but,
I don't think so. I think they should.
Yeah.
I think every arena you should have to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
you
that was
should
the
have to wear
NBA.
masks.
Somebody did it. Anyway, either way, that was the first thing I had thought of. But yeah. But glad he didn't get hurt.
How good are the Arizona Cardinals?
They're good. I think they went through a couple of weeks of, adversity. I think they, the NFL season's a marathon, man. It is a long season. It's grueling. It's grinding. And you're going to have some off weeks when you should win games that like the Lions week. That was a game that you would expect them to win that they lost. It just is what it is. It's football. And I think that they're going to be a team that runs into the postseason, and they're going to be a team you don't want to see. That's what I think they are.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Cardinals come out because they should have lost that game yesterday. I mean, with late game situations and blown timeouts and challenges, and
Yep.
I still maintain that if Hopkins doesn't come back, the Cardinals are a playoff team, not a championship team,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have it. And I love Christian Kirk; he's a great deep threat. He's not a route runner.
He's not DeAndre Hopkins.
No, and I look at A.J. Green, not the same receiver. Whatever that one-handed effort was yesterday should have been caught.
Yeah.
And little Kyler's playing his ass off, and they can't protect him. He gets hit a lot, and the run by design, I think Cliff Kingsbury is doing a very nice job calling those very occasionally, because I've got to believe it is very tempting to call designed runs for him constantly.
Yeah.
They do a really nice job of limiting that. They've got to have DeAndre Hopkins back.
Yeah.
That has to happen. A couple other things real quick. In the NFL, are the Packers the best team in the National Football League?
No. The Packers are not the best team in the National Football League. The Packers are a good team, obviously a playoff team, but I don't see them being better than even the Cardinals right now. I think if the Cardinals and Packers faced off, the Cardinals would win that game. That's what I
Really?
think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that, yeah.
Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. Does anybody celebrate better than Joey touchdown?
Yeah, that's a hell of a story. I thought I just what else do you say? I mean, the guy's a winner. Like, there's no other way to say it that Joe Burrow is a winner, and I think that it's a great story for the NFL that he was in his second season, especially after the injury and his comeback and everything. He's able to get to the postseason. I think it's awesome. It's everything you want in sports.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Raiders and Chargers
Yeah.
to decide who goes to the playoffs. I would be Justin Herbert's concubine if he wanted me to.
So if they don't beat the Raiders, are you gonna like?
Whoa. I just said I would be Justin Herbert's concubine, and you're like, wait, so let me ask you this about the game. Guys.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Yeah. I love Justin Herbert. I have a man crush on him. I'd like to comb his hair. But
So
the
you better
point is,
check yourself.
yeah, the point is, how are the Chargers in a place where they have to beat the Raiders to get into the playoffs? After everything the Raiders have been through.
Yeah, I mean, apparently after everything the Chargers have been through,
Good
apparently
it's so frustrating.
they should be better. There's no question. But
It is so frustrating.
They'll win that game.
Yeah. I just don't listen, man. I see everybody, commenting on the Bears. I'm not talking about the Bears until they fire asshole head coach. Once that happens, then we can talk about the Bears. What?
Y'all want to play.
Oh, you always got to bring up the Bears, man. Always got to bring up the Arlington Park Bears.
That's why. See, okay. Oh my God! I hope you catch a toe today. Best Christmas gift I got, besides hot tub action, was a Chicago Bears skull cap,
Yeah.
and they need to fire that jerk. Tanner Plummer says Justin Herbert's concubine. Oh my goodness, Monty. What will Mrs. Monty say?
Go Hawks.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Honey.
Are you kidding me? Happy New Year's, guys. Go Bolts. Eric C says. Eric C,
Yeah.
good to see you. All right, and finally,
Yeah.
before we get out of here,
Uh-huh.
because we don't have to work at the Yelpatory today, so we're going snowboarding.
Right.
Couple of things. COVID.
Yeah.
We had a COVID scare.
Yep.
So 2 weeks ago, Jake and I drove to North Star in Tahoe, snowboarded. While we were there, my wife got sick at home.
The coronavirus.
And she didn't really get sick. She had a sore throat,
Uh-huh.
which matriculated into her ears.
Everybody gets a test.
So she went and got tested.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Donnie. We were certain she had COVID.
Right.
She was like isolating, sleeping in another room, like the whole nine.
Right.
She doesn't have COVID.
Okay.
But the sheer frustration that caused in this home
Yeah.
was pretty remarkable.
This is a code 10 abort.
Yeah, because it definitely was a code 10 abort.
Yeah. Bro, it was not good, dude.
It was a code 10 abort.
Yeah.
Is COVID, I don't even know how to phrase the question, but I was really worried about getting COVID in that moment. I've gone 2 years and I haven't gotten it. Now I'm triple vaxxed and boosted, and your mom, like the whole nine.
I'm a fucking unit.
Yeah, like I am. I'm the whole nine.
Right.
Right. I'm healthy. I take my emergency every day, twice a day. I work out,
Right,
losing weight, like
right.
all of it.
Uh-huh.
I was still scared to get COVID.
Right.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I think, so the situation is driving home, we're like looking up how to get treatment and how to get to, what we can do and quarantine. Like it's just a horrible place to be, like it.
How do you get remdesivir?
Yeah, like, we're sitting here driving home. We got a 7-hour drive, and all we're thinking about is like, oh man, quarantining and COVID, and oh my God, and it's just horrible, man. It just is like, dude, it's like the last thing you want to be talking about,
But she had a sore throat and a cough. Then I got a little cough. You've got a major cough and a headache, runny nose thing.
Yeah.
But it's not COVID, which is spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, but it just is. I don't know, man. It is. I've been on the Dayquil, NyQuil train for 4 days now.
And today you feel like it's totally better.
Well, it's not totally better. I mean, I still am congested a little bit, but I think I'm definitely on the backside of it, if that's what we're
And you lost 4 pounds during this sickness somehow, you prick.
Yeah, I did. I did, yeah.
I don't eat and I gain 3 pounds. You eat, you get sick, and you lose, it's amazing to me.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I mean,
you should have to take 4
I
of
worked
my
out.
pounds.
I worked out twice while I was sick, including doing legs. And I sweated my ass off, so I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, whatever. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
Cody Strickland says, me and my family had COVID like 4 weeks ago. I'm the only one vaxxed. My family looked like death. I had a tiny headache. I was like, I guess the vax works. Yeah, who knew the vaccine works?
Oh.
Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene got banned from Twitter permanently?
No, we're not going into politics. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I'm not.
Are you guys both vaccinated? Yes, we are both vaccinated.
Triple vaxxed.
Chris Carnes says the International Raceway Bears. Chris, go Bears. James Knight says, so when Mrs. Monty got the results back to COVID, did she give a shout out to anybody? She didn't.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Yeah, there you go. She gave a shout out to Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
That's exactly
there you
right.
go. See?
No, but it was nerve-wracking.
It was terrifying.
It was absolutely nerve-wracking.
It was terrifying. Dude.
And I'm not even the one that had COVID. But we were both really upset. It is really frustrating. And then going out over New Year's, we went to Ruth's Chris the other night, downtown Salt Lake.
Uh-huh.
And it was nice because it was actually really spaced out. Then Mrs. Monty and I went to the movies the other morning.
Yeah.
And there were 4 people total in the theater.
But you went to a
great.
matinee.
To a 10-10 showing. Yeah. The King's Man, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
It just is. It's one of those things, though, where you're waiting for that COVID test to come back, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. Can't come back fast enough.
It is.
And the other thing, too, is that there's not a lot of testing availability.
No, it's
That's
really difficult to get a test
The
right
testing
now.
thing is tough,
Well, Uncle Joe Biden
Don't start. Again, dude, stop.
has not done the best job as a president.
Bro.
So President Harris. And no.
See here. See what you do?
Yeah.
You see what you just did?
Mrs. Monty's in the background yelling.
I really don't care if you think it's sus.
I
Oh,
think we've
Christ.
got to
She's got
stop.
the
I
mic.
think we've. Oh, she picked up the mic. I think
Oh,
we
boy.
have to stop relying on politicians to save us. Honestly.
All the presidents are average. When was the last time there was a president that was able to get anything done? We can't.
Donald Trump.
Oh, for Christ.
Are you kidding? Donald Trump caused an erection at the Capitol about a year ago. He got something done. Well, insurrection. Erection's different. That was on the bus when he was grabbing him. But never mind. Anyway.
Right.
I hit dingers.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump was able to push through the vaccine. Oh,
Yes.
and then told all his people not to take it. Good fucking work.
And he
Great
will
job.
every
Oh
single
my
time.
gosh.
So-
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
Here we go.
If people won't
Do you
take
see
the
what you do?
vaccine.
I shouldn't have started this.
Do you see what you do?
I don't see what I do.
And then we run out of test kits because too many people wouldn't take the vaccine. So it's spreading around like mad.
Omicron.
Anything else you want to get off your prodigious chest or no?
I'm not a huge basketball fan, in case anyone believed that.
Yeah, Mrs. Monty hates watching NBA.
All gas.
Jake, why are you
no
so
break.
red right now?
Because this is funny.
Mrs.
is
Monty
funny.
hates the NBA. Once again, not going to get into politics, but do you guys know what "Let's Go Brandon" means?
Bro, why,
Why?
dude? Why?
Why?
Dude, why? Yes, we know what that means.
Guys, can you tell me what "Let's Go Donnie" means? Yes, Tanner,
Texas means.
we know what that. Welcome, Mrs. Monty. Missed you on the show. Chris Karn says.
Birds aren't real.
The,
God damn.
Why? Stop it. The new Spider-Man movie was the best I've seen, Cody Strickland said. In other news, how about that Rose Bowl game? LOL.
Yeah.
James Knight says, I suggest no tap on the shoulder tonight, Monty. Yeah. Mrs. Monty's probably not going to be a willing participant. Sorry, I'll admit that was a bad question. LOL, Tanner said. No. Tanner Plummer with a bad question? That's a first today.
Stop.
Anyway, what? And then finally, let's talk about what we want out of 2022, because I think this is a really interesting question.
Mhm.
How important of a year would you say 2022 is in your life?
I think it's really important. I think 2022 is the year that I hope to not be at the 9-to-5 anymore. That we as a group hope to not be at our 9-to-5s anymore. That's what 2022 is about. So, yeah, it's really important.
We have and we're working on kind of by the way, we do have a big announcement coming hopefully this week on some things for the show. So you should probably stick around for that. But we have a big kind of plan that's we're supposed to execute here in 2022. And it brings me back to this conversation we seem to always have is, do you want to work for yourself?
Uh-huh.
Or do you want the comfort and protection of a paycheck? And I think the hard part for me is like today is a perfect example. I work at Yelp, which is $1 billion tech company. And what's that noise in the background with the water? My wife bought a fish
She
tank.
bought a damn fish tank.
And I left her mic open so people can hear that. Yeah, people were asking about the fish tank. Chico, Rico, and
Tico.
We named our fish after landscapers. It is what it is.
Bro.
But so like today is a perfect example. We work at Yelp, $1 billion tech company.
Right.
Today's a company holiday. I don't know why, but it's a paid holiday. I'm off today and they're paying me to not work. As they
Fire.
have paid me for the last 4 out of 6 weeks and now today. It's tough to give that up because I got to tell you, last night when I found out we were off today, it was jubilation. I mean, Yelp is a great place to be.
Yes.
But I don't want to work for somebody else. And it's terrifying to me, frankly. My wife works at a massive tech company.
Yeah.
I work at a massive tech company. We probably, knock on wood, have incredible job security. And to leave that behind, to go and work for myself, is a terrifying thought.
Uh-huh.
It's really scary to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like.
I mean, I think it's scary, but it's also, there's a lot of freedoms that come with working for yourself, but you have to do it the right way. I mean, you just have to, that's part of the process. Taking the leap is part of the process. And I think, without going into major details, like I think, if you know the path, then, it's just about being willing to press start,
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is that I've never been in a better place financially than I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are debt-free outside of our house and cars. We are comfortable financially. We can do anything we want to do. But it's been a road to get here.
Mhm.
So you finally get here. And you have to have the balls to go forward and take the next step. Because the financial freedom that comes with working for yourself, I don't know that there's any other way to beat that. Because I failed more than I have succeeded in being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I've learned so many lessons. I don't know that I've ever been more prepared to work for myself than I am right now. But man, it's tough to give that up.
Yeah, it is really tough, but I think that, working for yourself allows this show to get better, working, doing what we're talking about doing, would have a lot of benefits, and yeah, so yes, it is scary, but at the same time, I think we also know what we're doing.
John Jackson says New Year's resolutions, ? I don't have any.
No.
We joke about the gym all the time about this. New Year's, if you waited for January 1st to get yourself in shape, you wasted time. And you're going to fail. So, I have promises to myself in 2022. And I intend to keep those promises, but I'm not a big resolution guy.
Yeah, I just think the mindset around, hey, let me wait till January 1 to start doing something is,
It sets you up to fail.
Yeah.
There's no question. Gabe says my biggest 2022 goal is to finally get my hands on some Monty Show merch.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's our goal too.
Yeah.
Justin Salas says big year for me. Third and final child coming in July. Ooh.
Okay.
Man, congratulations. And should hit financial goals I've had since I was a child. Justin, way to go.
Let's go, buddy.
That's what life's about.
Well, and that's the tough part too. Like with what you were saying, like, if you I'm a big fan of like looking back at, what 5 years ago you wanted, and it's like 5 years ago you has everything you wanted at that time.
Yeah, I have more than I could ever want.
Yeah.
And now it's time to get generational with it. It's time to be delusional. Honestly, if there was ever a time to be delusional, if there was ever a time to get up and do it, now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've never had the advantages you have now. Most people still work from home. I'll never go back to an office. Yelp has pretty much said you'll never have to go back to an office if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I have a room that's just for shoes in my house. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, how much more life do I need, right?
Yeah.
I need a lot more life. I actually am at a point where I believe it or not, hired an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
I have I hired an accountant. I need an accountant.
Yeah.
We're going in the right direction. It's just scary to take that step, man. I'm terrified of it.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of it. I don't know. There's some dudes up in there. I keep blocking these guys, but they're just in here talking in Russian and stuff. And it's like, hello? Hello? So.
Where is Aaron right now?
Cody Strickland says Oprah running for president.
Neat.
Nah, I'm good. Are you going to vote for me when I run for president?
No.
I would agree.
Nope.
Both of you guys look a little trimmer. Okay. Well, you can't curse because then you get filtered. But he essentially says we both look trimmer.
Well, as we were just documenting, I've probably lost like 4 or 5 pounds. So,
Yeah. It's interesting. We haven't eaten really well, but I feel like we've been incredibly active over the last month.
We have.
We benched 225 the other day.
Bro,
It was
the
100
first time
pounds.
we went back to the gym. Well, you'd been going to the gym a lot more than I had. The first time I went back to the gym, no creatine in the system, nothing, rolled up to the bench, 225 10 times. I was so happy with that. I was like, that's amazing.
Feels good.
I was just like, damn.
Tanner Plummer says, I failed more than I succeeded. I like you're willing to fail in order to succeed, Monty. I remember my dad telling that most people are afraid to try because they're afraid to fail. You have to fail.
Yeah.
Eric C. says, I just hope this year we settle the Cafe Rio versus Chipotle debate. Well, it's interesting you bring that up because those of us South Jordan residents now know that there is a Chipotle going into the district. And
you have to admit that Chipotle does have better options for vegans.
Well, what you have to admit is that Chipotle, if you're eating to macros, and I generally am, Chipotle is a much cleaner eat than Cafe Rio.
Yeah.
I love Cafe Rio tacos. And by the way, I think it's been about a month since I've been to Cafe Rio.
No way it's been that long. No way.
How long?
No way it's been more than 2 weeks.
Oh, it's been longer than that.
No.
Since before Tahoe. It's been a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, Mrs. Monty, when's the last time we were at Cafe Rio? I don't know. It's got to be 3-4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. Jack in the Box is better. Oh, we had Jack in the Box in Tahoe. Oh, it's erecting. I mean,
Man,
the
dude,
blood flow that
dude,
happened.
The ultimate cheeseburger.
Oh,
is,
no, not the ultimate. God, you ruin everything when it comes to food. Do you have to crush my fat ass soul every time we talk about food? It was the tacos at Jack in the Box.
Well, yeah, the tacos are bomb too.
The tacos were amazing.
They were.
The burger's good.
Although I will say, we didn't get a drink. We got Powerade Zero instead, and Powerade Zero is phenomenal.
Powerade Zero. What was mine? The
Gatorade Zero or whatever it's called.
Yeah, cherry something swell or your mom, like whatever. What flavor Gatorade did you have? Your mom. Anyway, but it was really good.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you.
Yeah, Jack in the Box tacos are lit.
My God. I mean, Tanner says Jack in the Box is erecting. Yes, it is.
It really is. I mean, it's
Yes.
that good, dude.
Let's see. Jeremy Bolton says, you mean Cafe Rio versus garbage? Garbage wins. Wow. James Knight says, I'm guessing Jake is significantly lighter, LOL. Than who? Than me? No, he's not. Look how fat he is. Are you kidding me? He's like, he weighs over 100 pounds less than I weigh. Frame wise, he'll never
Not
weigh.
even close, dude.
Yeah. I have broader shoulders. I have much longer legs and arms. Yeah. Gabe Ledley says Chipotle's the best option for people who want shards of plastic in their food. Hard pass.
Gabe.
Come on,
me
let's
I'm
go,
wrong.
Schlep Rock.
Yeah.
Pack your shit. Let's go.
Tell me I'm wrong. I know it upsets you, Schlep Rock, but Gabe's right.
Not saying Gabe's wrong.
Can we all agree on In-N-Out is nasty? Yes, I'll never eat at In-N-Out again. And to hear that they no.
We're
Nope.
not doing that.
Cody Strickland says that just praying for Jack in the Box to go into Lake Point.
Yeah, at some point it'd be nice if there was a Jack in the Box in Utah.
It would. Yeah, In-N-Out sucks. In-N-Out is not good. Jeremy Bolton says, how much am I looking to spend for an entire snowboard package, board and bindings?
Oh, Christ.
Well, if you're going traditional.
Do you have boots?
Yeah, if you're going traditional, do you already have boots? I mean, you're looking at probably a G. You're looking at $1,000.
Yeah.
To get into a good snowboard, if you're not going to ride Burton step-ons, the only binding is Burton cartel bindings. Those things they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
So if you get into a GNU Rider's Choice, Burton cartels, Vans boots. Vans makes a very good snowboarding boot.
Yeah, you're probably out the door, boots, bindings, board. You're probably about $1,300. That's probably what you're looking at. I mean, and that's for quality stuff that'll last you, 5 to 7 seasons. So
James Knight said it meant the new addition in his life, Monty.
I don't
girlfriend.
get the joke.
He
Was this going back to the what did he say? Was
James
I
Knight
lighter?
weighing more than me. Yes, you've gained weight.
I haven't gained weight.
This year, no Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out. Really? You're not going to eat a Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out? Well, I don't eat it In-N-Out ever. Honestly, they're dead to me. I'll never eat it In-N-Out again. Jeremy Bolton says, yes, I got the boots.
Okay, then with the boots, you're probably at or below 1,000.
Right around $1,000
Yeah.
bucks, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it.
Okay.
I feel better now.
Oh, okay.
Good
All right.
show, Jake.
Yeah, thank you.
Mrs. Monty, thanks for pissing everybody off.
Yep, good contribution today. Yep,
Yeah.
great job.
Hopefully tomorrow we feel a little better. We'll be early tomorrow, right around 6 something Mountain Time.
Yeah.
6:15-ish Mountain Time. Because we're back at the Yelpatory tomorrow. But yeah, we'll have a big update this week, hopefully, on some cool show stuff that we're working on. Yeah.
There
we'll
you go.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
And there you go. And he's why, Bolton? He says, and Alex Caruso still sucks, and you'd love to have him on the Jazz. Good show, guys. Glad you're back, Tanner says.
Yeah. Thanks, Tanner. Good to see you, buddy.
Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.